About to go into 2026, and something that baffles me is the amount of people that still consider the high value man to be high value just because of his access, just because of the amount of zeros in his bank account. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what truly is high value, and there's a lot more balance when it comes to you being the high value man, and it has everything to do with emotional mastery that you can bring to your relationship and dating experiences and to your career, to building up your corporate career, to building your businesses. My name is Jess. I am a professional life coach. I have been working primarily with men over the last 5 years, and if you see me looking down at my phone today, it's because I'm going to be talking to you about a couple of the points that I've made that I want to share with you guys, and it's going to really help you to both master yourself in business, because you're successful in that. You know how to build businesses, you know how to climb the corporate ladder, you are masculine, you're driven, you're successful, but you have some issues when it comes to dating, perhaps in your marriage and in your dating life. The first thing that I want to speak about is the thing that is really gonna make you attractive to the kind of quality woman that you want to date. And what I mean by the quality woman, let's face it guys, you don't want the kind of women who are just after you for your money. These kind of women, perhaps they are also intelligent, they have built businesses or building a business, they're also in the corporate world, they're lawyers, they're doctors. You want these beautiful, smart women who are more balanced, should we say. And these kind of women are looking for emotional skills. Remember, they're not going around in the world and looking for this rich guy to just take care of them and that be it. The thing that might be holding you back when it comes to your dating life or in your marriage is that you try to solve emotional problems with logical solutions. Females are emotional beings. We feel things, we are governed by our emotions. You, being a successful man, you're going to love fixing things. So you're going to see a problem or something that needs to be fixed, and you're going to enjoy finding a solution. I understand that. I've spoken to many men about that. She doesn't want a solution. In that moment, perhaps she wants to feel sad. She wants to feel whatever she wants to feel. The more that you can appreciate her femininity in the fact that she's going to feel things at times that you don't even understand, and remember, she's governed by a completely different cycle to you, the more that that's going to create understanding, love and depth, because she's going to feel seen and heard by you. She will want you to honor how she feels, and she won't want solutions. She's going to want presence. She's going to want you to just listen when she's talking about how she might feel about something that's going on in her life, or how she's perhaps feeling about the relationship. The more that you can do that, it's going to bring you guys closer together rather than creating this distance. The next point that I want to speak about, you often shut down emotional, right? You often get tense when it comes to conflict. You get defensive and you avoid this vulnerability. The other thing that you might do, and how do I know this? Because I work with men and I've seen this a lot, which is why I've made a note of some of the things that I often see that holds men back. You get withdrawn. All of these things, they come down to the emotional part of yourself, the lack of emotional mastery that you have within yourself. For example, you get intense during conflict. It might be that you're running off a story, some thinking of how she's feeling and what it means about you. What if it means nothing about you that she's feeling sad? What if it means nothing about you that she's feeling angry in that moment? And the more that you allow yourself to be with those habitual feelings where you're feeling the need to defend yourself or anything of that nature, then that's going to bring you closer together. The more that you work on your emotional regulation, and more of that later on in this video, is the kind of quality woman, the balanced woman, the healthy woman. Yes, she's intelligent, she's beautiful, she's attractive. She, again, as I said at the start of this video, wants the emotional balance. She's dated the guys who, yes, are successful, but there was always something missing because there was a lack of emotional leadership, there was a lack of emotional regulation. A woman is going to feel attracted to you when she feels safe. Make her feel seen and heard. Emotional safety is everything to a woman. Forget any level of depth of intimacy if she doesn't feel safe emotionally. She's going to close up, and you may have experienced this before where she doesn't feel close to you emotionally and there's a lack of intimacy. That's one of the biggest indicators. Is when I talk about these topics, often there's a misunderstanding. Sometimes men will come to me and they'll believe the things that I'm talking about is me trying to make you more feminine. It's helped you to build the businesses that you have. It's helped you to climb the corporate ladder. It's helped you to create some of the material success that you've acquired in your life. When it comes to the emotional part of having love and depth and connection and all of these things that the truth is, guys, that you live for, it comes down to your emotional mastery and you being in touch with the feminine part of yourself, which means being aware of how you feel and cultivating more of that awareness, because the more aware of how you feel, you're not going to necessarily be reacting all over the place, which is not a powerful way of being. In you building the businesses that you've built in your corporate life, I'm sure that you'll know that that isn't something that has been helpful for you if you're reacting to your boss or you're reacting when it comes to an important teams meeting. The thing that I want to speak about is presence. The way that you're going to be truly present with a woman and it be really powerful with the connection with you guys by you recognizing where your mind is caught up in the day that you've just had. So I'll give you an example, and I've spoken about this in other videos, so feel free to check out my previous videos. If you've had a busy day in the office, that you're working on a big project, it's very important, you have to spend a lot of time and energy, there's a lot of work that goes into it, great, okay, again, that's the masculine part of yourself. But if you're taking your woman out for a date and your mind is still preoccupied, you're still thinking about the day that you've just had, you're not being present. You're back in the office, you're still at your desk with your boss, and it's not really 8 o'clock on a Friday night and you're not with your wife. Now, of course, she's not going to feel seen and heard if she's telling you about something that's important in her life and your mind is caught up and you're going, oh, sorry, babe, I've just had such a long day and this and this and this. The thought that's going to likely come across in her mind is, okay, but you're not in the office anymore. It's 8 o'clock on a Friday night and I'm here with you. Perhaps you even have children where your family is here. It's really about what's important for you guys. You becoming more aware of what's important for you, and if she's important to you, if your kids are important to you, you're going to create that balance. It's really up to you. The next part of this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the things that you're also doing that is preventing you from creating this emotional mastery when it comes to women. You are overworking when it comes to your life. You are underinvesting when it comes to your woman. And you believe that this career that you have is your identity. Is that really true? That's for you to decide. Because if you decide that it is true, then how are you going to have space, emotional space, and time to cultivate the kind of connection that you want in your life? The other thing that might be holding you back from having the emotional mastery that you want to experience in your life is you assume that by providing, by giving her money, that's love. Now that might be something that you've learned in your childhood. And listen, if you want to date the girl who is only interested in what you provide and the amount of zeros and the amount of spas that she can have, and that's it, and she doesn't really care about you, she doesn't want to spend time with you, she doesn't want to experience any depth or any genuine connection with you, then that's okay. But you're not watching this video, I'm guessing, because you want to attract like a gold digger. It comes down to presence, how connected she's feeling. This is really around if you're really with her in that moment or whether you're elsewhere, and whether you're leading the relationship emotionally. Which means that if there's any conflict or any misunderstanding, how are you leading that emotionally? Are you reacting all over the place, which is not powerful, which is not going to help your relationship? Or are you recognizing how you're feeling triggered, you're feeling angry, and you can communicate that, and it doesn't end up in conflict, it doesn't end up in separation, it doesn't end up in this distance. It's really powerful stuff, guys. They have learned that success is built from pride, from being dominant, by being the big character in the office, yeah? But again, this energy doesn't translate very well when it comes to women. This doesn't translate very well when it comes to emotional intimacy. Because if she feels dominated, again, this is a smart woman. This is a woman that is aware. Then, of course, she's not going to want to stay in that connection. If she feels like you're talking over her, that you're not respecting her, you're not being mindful of the fact that you're talking to a feminine being, which is that she wants to be spoken to in a respectful way, that she's perhaps like quite a soft woman, that she's really connected to her feminine energy, then you being overly dominant, you being egotistical is not going to work, because you probably be able to tell. The other thing that creates emotional distance rather than connection is you're suppressing how you feel. So every time you say to her, oh, it's fine, and you've had this conflict or misunderstanding, again, if she is really feminine in the sense that she's connected to how she feels, she will know that you're lying. She will get a sense that that's not the case. Now, it depends on where she's at. She might challenge you on that, she might ask more questions, or she might let it go. I would say if she really cares about you in the relationship, she will challenge it. She will say something along the lines of, I can really sense that you are just suppressing how you feel, that you're not being truthful in how you feel about said conflict, misunderstanding here, and yeah, there's honesty that would really help you to build the connection and bring you closer together. You can fix this and to be really master yourself emotionally. The first one is emotional regulation. What does this mean? Emotional regulation comes down to you being aware of how you feel. If you are not aware of how you feel, how can you communicate to anyone how you feel? The trauma that you may have experienced in your life as a man, you've numbed yourself. And this is also another one of the wounds why men often will run around like a headless chicken and try to really be successful in his life, because it's avoidance. There's a form of avoidance there, which is a form of a wound. The more that you slow down and you heal and you look at what you're avoiding, and you see that there's no reason for you to really run away from yourself, and the truth is that you can never truly run away from yourself, that is when you can heal the emotional part of yourself, become more aware of how you feel, and then you're able to communicate that. And let's say when you're having this conflict, this misunderstanding with your woman, you're able to be aware of when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling triggered. And you can say, hey, I'm feeling a little bit angry, I'm feeling a little bit triggered right now, so I need to go for a walk, I need to take a couple of breaths or something of that nature. And that's something that is really going to help you. The next one is for you to feel what's happening in that moment, for you to be present. If you are in a conflict, a misunderstanding or something with your woman, or not even that, you're just spending time together and your head is in the busy day that you've just had, you're not being present. And she's going to be able to sense that. Again, the kind of woman that knows what she wants, loves herself, knows the kind of relationship that she wants, she's going to bring this forward to you. And she might say something along the lines of, I've noticed like you're elsewhere. It really feels like you're not really with me right now. I'm not really feeling close to you. I'm not really feeling connected. Not coming from your power, you'll be defensive, even though you know deep down that your mind is elsewhere. The only reason that you would be defensive is because you are trying to protect yourself. There's nothing for you to protect. The best thing that you can do is be honest and say, yeah, I have a lot in my mind, it's been a long day. You're not saying that from a place of justifying it or anything like that. You're just being honest. You're bringing the awareness to the forefront, and that's when you can really be with her and be in that restaurant on a Friday night enjoying your time together, and you're not in the office anymore. The next thing that I want to speak about is you learning to communicate from a place of calm. If you're passive aggressive, then that is obviously not going to create any connection. That is going to generate lots of distance in your connection with your woman. And by the way, guys, this isn't just when it comes to women. If you're single and you, for whatever reason, don't want to be in a relationship, or whatever the case is for you, this is the same thing when it comes to loved ones, when it comes to family and friends. The part that I want to speak about that's really going to help you is rebuilding polarity. Polarity is like the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, the plus and the minus. To create chemistry, to create that juicy, lovely feeling when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to connection, when it comes to chemistry, then what you need is this polarity, this yin and this yang, this masculine and the feminine. For example, let's say that you are dating this woman who is also building businesses. If she is building businesses, then she is also going to be in her masculine at some times, because that's what's required of her. She needs to be organized, she needs to be clear, she needs to have direction. If when you're spending time together, let's say at the end of the day, you're both in your masculine, then that's not going to work very well when it comes to the connection and the love and the depth that you can potentially experience together. When you see that she's operating in her masculine, here's a suggestion. Get her to, if she's still wearing her work clothes, get her to get into something comfortable. You could perhaps give her a massage, talk to her, really connect to her. That's going to drop her down into her body. Essentially anything to get her into her body, to get her out of her head and to get her into her body. For you, if you're very heady and you're talking at her just about work, she's not going to feel connected to you. She's not going to feel that closeness that she wants to feel when she's been working all day. I hope that you have found this helpful. If you have any questions, then feel free to send me a message. If you're curious about the work that I do, then feel free to fill in the form to apply to potentially work together. See you in the next video.